Wesley, I see you're wearing a hat today, but on sets we wear multiple hats.
We do.
Um, Primarily on set, what do you do?
So usually, so I'm on my own films, the films that I'm personally directing. I always direct and DP, and then in post, I'm pretty much always editing those projects as well. But I do a lot of freelance DP work as well for other filmmakers.
Okay, that's sums up exactly what I do. So we're on the same page there.
Yep.
Um, Recently, I have gotten other people to DP things so I can focus more on the storytelling.
Hmm.
I am very visual, which is I think why I held on to it for so long. And if I am on someone else's set, I'm shooting. So
Right.
I'm comfortable with it. I kind of know what I'm doing. But you definitely have to have a good level of trust. You have to speak the
Hmm.
same language. You have to be able to communicate your vision. Um, would you ever consider having someone else shoot for you, or what would it take to get you to that point to find the right person?
Absolutely. I would love to get to that point, and it's really about um, I guess finding the right person that I feel kind of speaks the same language as me, because there's like all the time, and I'm sure you know this as well, there's small miscommunications that happen throughout the day with everybody. And it's kind of your job as the director to make sure that everybody's on the same page as you as quickly as possible, because when things are miscommunicated, issues arise, and then problem solving, and then more discussions take place to make sure that you're on the same page. And whenever you're on a film set, it's really about trying to get through things as fast as possible, because you never have enough time.
Right. And when you're directing, you are the one making decisions, and they say a
Exactly.
human can only make so many decisions in a day until they're just spent.
Yeah. And then, like for instance, right now when I'm directing and DPing, that's one less person I have to communicate my own thoughts to.
Right. That's a very good
So,
point too, because at the same time you're doing more work, but
mhm,
there's less communication, less worry that
right,
something isn't going to
less
turn out the way you want.
exactly less chance of a communication breakdown. But it's I am actively working towards the point where I can have my own dedicated DP, because I think as you kind of move up and want to get better at this, you kind of realize that whenever you're directing and DPing, your attention is kind of half at one thing and half at the other.
Right.
But whenever you want to get better, you want to make sure that your attention is 100% into that one category.
Agreed. And I hired Malachi Macho, who
Hmm.
is a friend I met on set. And he had a great personality. We communicated well, and we kind of had similar tastes. We actually met at my apartment. And he points
Hmm.
to this really obscure movie, this old black and white movie. He's like, "Oh, I love this movie." And I'm like, "Yeah, I just watched that." So definitely having similar reference points,
Hmm.
having similar tastes, and now I have learned as a director that no one else is going to see something, no matter how well you communicate it, exactly the same as you.
Right.
So as a director, you have to say, I brought this person aboard for what they can do. I'm going to
Hmm.
point them in a direction, a little bit of direction, and set them loose to do their thing.
Right.
And it has been freeing in some respects to kind of, lose control
Hmm.
for a little bit, so you can focus on the actors, which is my primary focus now, because I felt I
Right.
was, oh, the actors do their thing and I capture it on camera. Like that was the way I approached it,
Hmm.
and I wanted to get a little more hands on with the actors for my TV pilot that I just finished.
Hmm.
So I
So
felt that really helped me in that respect.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons that I want to kind of take a step away from DPing my own projects coming up, is that I want to be able to work very hands-on with the actors and kind of make sure that the performances are 100% kind of the way that I want them. Because whenever you're directing and DPing, you're so concentrated on making sure the composition is right, making sure that you don't screw up like the camera, and you'll hear something in the performance that you want to correct, but then you kind of let the take play out because you don't want to screw it up or interrupt them in the process. But then you get to the end of the take and you're like, crap, what was my note?
There's a lot of stuff to keep track of, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure. Ooh, there goes my chair.
No.
I am tall again. All is right with the world. Sort of. Not really.
No.
During this pandemic. Yeah. So, what are you working on now with all this downtime, or are you shooting any quarantine comedy challenges?
No, I'm not shooting really anything right now. Right now, I'm focusing kind of on getting some YouTube content out there related to the last short film that we shot, or the last short film that we released, Kill or Be Killed. We actually shot that 2 years ago, and it's finally just now coming out. But in terms of actively working on a new project, we were working on a kind of like a sci-fi drama, but I was trying to kind of squeeze that in before my wedding, which was supposed to take place pretty soon. But because of COVID and everything like that, that project has kind of been indefinitely shelved. And I don't exactly know when everything is going to kind of pick back up and return to normal. And our channel, we always do this thing, the series at Halloween called Short Scares. So basically now we're kind of approaching the whole situation like, well, I guess the sci-fi drama is probably going to get shelved indefinitely. And by the time this all kind of resolves and goes back to normal, it'll probably be June, July. So why don't we instead start focusing towards our Halloween content and get that out a little sooner than the last couple of years? Because the last couple of years, we've worked on those Halloween projects up until like a couple minutes before it was set to release.
Yeah, I've been there. I don't like that. That's such a
I
rush.
don't either.
But you want to get it perfect. You know, you have a
Exactly.
deadline.
With Kill or Be Killed, the movie was finished like 6 months ago, and then we submitted it to film festivals. So there was no last minute headaches at all posting it to YouTube.
Right.
But with basically every project we've done up until then, it was rendering something out, looking through it. Oh crap, there's a render error. Let's re-render it, fix that, and it just became a really big headache.
Oh, I can imagine.